there are skeletal remnants on this course. Golf Curse, the 2019 novel by Cameron Robique. This is his second book in his Year of Blood trilogy. It's Author Appreciation Week, and I'm spotlighting Cameron Robique. And I'll also have an interview with him at the end of this week. I read this book as well as all of his other books. Do not miss out on his awesome stories. So what's the plot of Golf Curse? Well, it's just basically a group of workers who are young, middle-aged, or old, all working at this golf course and preparing for a big tournament that's going to happen. However, one of the workers and his friends go up to the old tree up on top of that hill that everyone has a story to tell about, and lightning strikes while they're trying to cut it down, and a bony figure comes out, one of a chief of a Native American tribe, and he is happy to slaughter. The setting of this book is perfect. I mean, we don't get enough golf horror, if any at all. I mean, there are probably a couple, but I think this is just... There's a lot of potential in this setting, and it's utilized pretty well. The atmosphere, it's mostly warm and cozy when they first get in there, but then there's this huge storm that comes in, and also a whole bunch of people are pulling a night shift, and that's when all the chaos happens, especially during the rainstorm and thunder and everything. It adds to the eeriness. The job, it seems like everyone's either committed to this job or kind of like, I gotta get out of here, or I've been here forever and I'm going with the flow at this point. But everyone's there for a reason. Everyone's there to serve a purpose, mostly to die. Cameron Robique actually worked at a golf course and committed all the same shenanigans that are featured in this book. The characters, we have Ronnie. He's kind of a nerdy, skinny kid. He's just one of those kids who, well, he's in college. He's not really a kid. He's one of those young adults that just want to do the job, but they love their job and just don't want college to end, don't want this job to end, but the adult world is a calling. Then we have his friend Mark, who's that really cool, supportive, ladies' man kind of friend. He's a lot of fun to read about, and I think I was surprised, actually. I knew who was going to be the main character, but at one point I was kind of like, maybe they'll do a bait and switch. Joe and Jeff are two pranksters. Like, I know Mark's kind of a prankster, but these kids are serious pranksters. Actually, they're adults. Gotta stop calling everyone kids. I'm only 27. Anyway, these two kids, they're always getting into trouble with the boss and just messing everything up, throwing water cups at the employees, and they're usually laughing with them, like, oh, that feels so refreshing, or whatever. It's very 80s humor, which fits because this takes place in, I believe, 1981. Then we have Zeke. He is the old-timer who's been there the longest out of anyone there, and he just goes with the flow. Bill, I believe, is the boss in this book. I'm pretty sure I didn't write down the... I messed up. But I believe Bill is the boss of the young adults, and then there's a guy above him. And Bill's a good boss. I mean, he wants you to do the job, but you can have fun while doing it. Just don't go over the top. We have Brian, the groundskeeper, who works with the machinery, kind of fixes everything up, makes sure everything's in working order. His name is Brian. Mr. Hamilton is the head honcho. He is the son of a father who is the son of a grandfather, who all owned this land to golf on. There's Tanya and Wendy, two girls. Tanya's kind of a jerk to her sister, which is sad because Wendy's a shy girl, so it doesn't really help. Then there's Pete and Butch. Now, Pete and Butch are like trucker guys. They do the work and they get home, but they live mechanic trucker lives. The killer, Chief Tomahawk, is kick butt. He is a brutal killer. He also is kind of learning about things as he goes along because he hasn't been on Earth for a long time, and seeing these things are just me trying to be like, oh, how does this work? How can I kill you with this? I loved the descriptions of his appearance, and he is quite sinister. I feel the characters are fun as a whole, but most of them needed a little bit more development. I mean, no one really has an arc in this story. I mean, Ronnie kinda does, but that's it. But at this point, this is just entertaining cheese. I loved reading every page of it. It took me about 4 days to read it, which this isn't a short book, it's like almost 300 pages. I also felt that the climax kind of came out of nowhere. There was potential for a huge massacre, but it never happened. I'm of course talking about I don't know if I want to spoil it. It starts with a T. But what we got was satisfying enough. The gore, we get lots of scalpings. There's a bloody mower blade death. Some slit. I should have the Kill River knife over here to do that with. A sprinkler system literally sprays blood from a character. Mangled remains, there's some brutal bow and arrow action. Usually that kind of stuff is pretty dry or tame, but the descriptions of the arrows impacting in you is just, it's hard to read. It's when they impact on the characters. This is probably Robeek's goriest book. It's got a body count of 12, I believe, so it's pretty high. Some of the characters that die are off a bit too early, but it does add to a nice shock level. Like, I didn't expect that. The music in this book, as per usual, he has music in his books. We've got a lot of cool tunes from Journey, Led Zeppelin, John Denver even has a song in this. There's also a lot of other country tunes. Ronnie is described as being an admirer of country, not really a fan, just to some songs. Although John Denver is folk, not country, usually. Anyone who knows me, I'm not a fan of modern country, but some of the songs chosen on here were okay. Usually the older stuff doesn't bother me. You don't have to get familiar with the songs in this book to know them. They don't play an important part like in Disco Death Trap or Kill River. This was a ton of fun. I feel it was really a personal story for Cameron Robeek because he incorporated a lot of his experiences while working at a golf course. I love the title, Golf Curse. It always makes you think, oh, I'm going to say a golf course, but I accidentally said a golf curse, like I have been doing throughout this video. I probably edited all that out, but still. It's gruesome fun and even has some iconic in the making imagery. I hope and cannot wait for those old bones to rattle again. Overall, I give Golf Curse a 3 out of 5. Thank you all for watching, and Lion Brian Gatto, the horror show host. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will help keep this channel going on strong, and I'd greatly appreciate it. It'll also give you access to music videos and to body counts that are not on this channel because of copyright and age restriction. Also hit that notification bell, and as always, subscribe.